Okay guys, welcome back to the YouTube channel. Haven't posted in a while, however I've been working hard, I've been grafting. There's a few videos that will be coming up. Yeah, today I'm going to do a full body session. I'm going to talk you through what my training is like at the moment, what my goals are at the moment, because a couple of things have changed. And yeah, let's dive straight into the session. Yeah, so, okay, I've already done my plyometrics to start. I haven't got that recorded. So I've just got into my squat pattern. So just doing a barbell back squat at the moment. The most important thing for me at the moment is making sure I don't waste any volume at all. I don't want to be doing too much junk volume. Everything's very focused on quality of the sets. So I did 2 sets, both sets at 4 to 6 reps. I think I did 2 sets at 4 reps, which is good. So the volume's quite low, the intensity is high, the quality of the sets are really, really good. And that's my main focus at the moment. So after I've done that, I'm going into my single leg variation, which it normally would be a plate loaded leg press, but today I'm doing a pin loaded because that one's in use. But yeah, that's the plan for this session. This session, even though it's full body, it's very focused at the moment on lower body specifically, because that's an area that I do want to build up a lot. So onto our single leg variation, which is important, especially when you're running, which is obviously for me, I'm doing a lot of running. So with the high running volume and the boxing, everything is on this leg or this leg. You're not really doing too much on both legs at the same time. Boxing, you're distributing your weight all the time, front leg, back leg. And then obviously running, you're one leg after another. So make sure you've got no imbalances and trying to correct them as much as you can. Really, really important. So I've just started off a couple of warm-up sets. I'll be honest, this is probably my weakest part of my body. I'll be honest, it's my lower body. So who cares? It's an area for improvement, right? So we're gonna crack on straight into the top set. In fact, I'll do a warm-up set first. I've already done one, but I'll just make sure. I don't know what I can do on this. It's not very heavy. In fact, I'll start with 2 legs. Okay, that's fine. Perfect. Okay, so with the single leg unilateral work, what is important to do is make sure you start with your weakest leg. If you always do the strongest leg first, what's going to happen is that leg's always going to be more dominant and always stronger. So what we're doing today is we'll start off with the weaker leg, which is the left. And regardless of whether I do this right leg and it still feels quite fresh, what I'm going to make sure I do is just match the same as I did on the weaker leg. Otherwise, like I said, that imbalance will always be there. And even if I feel like that strong leg's got plenty more reps, don't carry on, pause. Oh my God, I've got a cramp in my shoulder then. Okay. Oh, I've actually got really bad cramp in my shoulder, what the hell? Oh, that's not nice. Okay, 5 reps, not too bad. Change the leg now. In fact, I need a minute, I'm waiting for that cramp to go, that's killing. Give that probably 2 minutes and then we'll go back in. So like I said, I think this leg's stronger, so even if I can do more than 5, I will just stop at 5. And don't be too strict on rest time as well. Like I do obviously program rest time with clients, but at the end of the day, sometimes you're going to feel like you need a little bit longer. What's the reason you're training for? If you're very strength focused, you don't want to be going into a set out of breath, because then all you're doing is increasing the chance or giving another reason for why your set might fail short. Instead, what you want to be doing if your goal is to get stronger and build muscle is the reason you want a set to fail is because the muscles you're targeting physically can't produce enough force to go through that from A to B on whatever exercise anymore. That's why you fail. You don't want to fail because you're out of breath or any other reason, unless obviously you're cardio based, but well, you wouldn't want to completely fail, otherwise you wouldn't have much life in you. But right, let's do first set, right leg, 5 reps. Sound, okay. Let one rip there mid-set, that was good though. 5 reps. I think I got back from holiday last week. So what I'm doing at the moment is like my first proper week back into training. The last thing you want to do is start off with really high volume or really push the limits too early on. Best thing to do is just ease your way back into the training, build it up slowly, and make sure that you are focusing on going through a cycle of making sure you're assessing your progression. Let me give you an example. First set, you might say go at like RPE 7 or 8, so you've got 2 or 3 reps left in the tank, rather than going all the way to failure. I think, to be honest, I'm pretty much like RPE 9 on the right leg and probably max out on the left, to be fair, probably not doing much more. But the main focus is, like I said, quality of the sets, keeping the volume quite low. It gives me more areas to progress over time, because what I can then do is go, right, I'm going to increase the volume, rather than being like, right, I've already maxed out my volume, so I'm doing 5 sets of everything. And then fatigue accumulates too quickly and you struggle to progress, you plateau and you have to pull back anyway. To try and get the most bang for your buck, try and be able to get essentially the most out of your training whilst doing as little as possible. Especially if you're someone who's busy like myself, you run a business or you work full time and maybe you're a dad, you've got kids, whatever. You're a busy person, the last thing you want to be doing is spending hours in the gym. What you need to do is have a training program and sessions that are built for you, work around the fact that you've got limited time, and still manage to tick all the boxes in the session and come out with full clarity, knowing that you're doing the right things, you're moving in the right direction, and you're going to get the result that you want over time. Okay, so second set, again, keeping the volume low. You don't need to be doing 4 or 5 sets on everything. Focus more on the quality, you'll get a lot more out of that, rather than just thinking the more I do, the better results I get. If it was that case, I'll be in the gym all day just doing thousands of sets. It's not the case at all, unless you want to get injured and make no progression. So let's go straight in. A bit lighter this time as well. Still 4 to 6 in terms of rep range. The legs are fried. By the way, I did do a boxing session earlier, so this is session 2. And it's a new, I never normally do Tuesday strength as well. This is like a new program, so. Don't know if we've got this one left in the tank, we'll soon see. Nice. I need to remind myself, being like week 1 back into training, not to do too much too soon and like really push it. Especially because I'm straight back into the running, the boxing, the weightlifting. I don't want to do too much too soon and get injured, so maybe keep the RPE slightly lower. Because I definitely notice it a little bit sometimes in my hips. If I'm doing too much, that's the first area I get pain. It's a lot of volume on the legs. Like, there's nothing I do any day that isn't involving the legs. Running, legs, obviously, you don't run with your arms. Boxing, you're always on your legs, skipping. Weightlifting, I'm doing 2 full body sessions. So, I mean, my current training split at the moment is 4 boxing, 3 to 4 runs, depending on how I feel, and 2 strength. So I'm training every day apart from a Wednesday. So it's just managing the training volume. Like there's obviously a case where you can do too much, and as a byproduct of doing too much, either overexert yourself and get injured, or just do too much and you're doing too much that your body can't recover from. So it's a waste of time. It's just junk volume. Right, into the right leg now. Max it, 5 reps. Okay, that was better. Right, good, happy with that. I'm questioning myself now. I put leg extensions on my training for this next exercise, but I'm thinking maybe I'm doing a bit too much volume there. 5 sets on the lower body. Normally my other sessions are hinge, so it's a bit like, it's more hamstring focused, hamstring and glutes. Today's more like quad focused. Even my squats, quite close stance, heels elevated, more knee flexion, more bend in the knee. So better stimulus if you're looking to really bias the quads and go for growth there. So yeah, right, let's have a gander, let's move on. See if we can nail the leg extension. To be fair, everything happens for a reason. And I'm pretty sure this gym doesn't actually have a leg extension. So I've got all the gear right now. I've got the laptop, I've got the boxing equipment, I've got the strength equipment, carrying around the gym with me. I think it's over here though. So just a quick one whilst we wait for the leg extension. Something I spoke to clients about was if you felt like you've had like a summer holiday, or you've fallen off track a little bit recently, like I said, maybe you've been on a holiday, or maybe you just feel like you fell off the ball a little bit, then one thing I said in one of our group calls that we had recently, all my clients, I said to them that sometimes it's about resetting, and sometimes your environment, like obviously your environment dictates outcomes, who you surround yourself with is really important. And I said sometimes you can get used to that same environment, and whether that's training or whatever you're doing, work's a little bit harder to change, of course, but in relation to your traiine, if you're like, right, my environment's a bit boring, same routine, same gym, same wall, same setup, mix it up a bit, like get training in another gym. It might re-give you that motivation, it might light a spark or a fire inside you that you haven't had for a while with your training. And obviously when you've got that, you might push a bit harder, be more consistent, get a better result. So I'm not saying just go and quit your gym and sign up for another one, but have a think about it. If you've been a bit bored of your gym and you feel like you need to reset your routine a bit, maybe try a different gym, get a day pass, see what it's like, and if you love it, go there and mix things up a bit. But I think that leg extension will be done soon, so let's get going. Yeah, okay, so just one set here today. Leg extensions, really focus on the quads, do want to develop them a lot. Like I said, lower body's my weaker area, so a lot more volume on the lower body on this session. One set, I've put 12 to 15 reps. I mean, I don't know if I'm gonna get 12. I feel like first few weeks you're always within your rep range. You might go too heavy, you might go too light, but there's only one way to find out. Let's just go straight in then. That's about right for the rep range. That was painful though. To be honest, one thing I was going to speak about was, I'm going to note this off on my app, and for reference, I use the same coaching app that I use for my clients. I program myself like I'm a client. Helps so much. 70 kilo. You know what? If you go into the gym and you don't track your sessions and aim to progress each time, it's like driving to a new destination that you've never been before with no Google Maps and a blindfold on. It's like you're just setting yourself up for failure. Yeah, can't recommend it enough, but let's crack on now. You know when like you finish work and you can't really be bothered to go to the gym, you're tired, and you don't even realise it, but you're just taking your body for granted, because there's been so many times where I've had little niggles before and I've been like, oh, I can't really be bothered to run, and I don't know, I'm not enjoying it at the moment, and I'll get a niggle, I can't run for 4 to 8 weeks, and I'm like, maybe my physical health slightly declines because I'm not training as much. My mental health definitely declines a bit because I'm not being able to go out and exercise and have that freedom and get the benefits for my mental health that, say, running gives me. So sometimes, I know it's cliche when they say you haven't got to train, you get to train, but it's so true, because without training, this is like my time for myself and to give myself value, to build myself as a person, as a man. And if I don't have this time for myself, I don't know like where I'd be. So I know it's cliche, you don't have to train, you get to train, but it's so true. And if you're someone that often thinks, you know what, I can't bother to do this, I don't want to do this, just thank yourself lucky, because you never know when you get an injury and you maybe never be able to train again, and how that could negatively impact you. As a man, you'll have so much stuff like across your life where things go wrong. Like, I don't know, if you're in your 20s or 30s, most people follow me are that age, and like shit hits the fan, things go wrong, whether that's with your kids, just general things that happen in life, right? Like, life can be cruel. And I know this is what keeps me going. I want to be a man that can deal with these things well, like whatever it is. I want to be equipped to be able to handle that, whether it's physically, mentally. I need to be strong in both aspects in order to not let that get me down and not to let it pull me back, but in order to overcome it and keep moving forward. And I think that's what keeps me going as well, knowing that I need to show up for myself, my family, all these social responsibilities. You're a partner to obviously your partner, you're a son to your mum, you're a son to your dad, whatever. Make sure that you're showing up for them and being strong, rather than being weak-minded or weak physically and not being able to be the man that you should be. So let's go. That feels quite good, that does. I think I might go heavier on that. I don't even know how I'm going to get on here, but 3 to 5 reps. Decent. 5, but last one was a bit dodgy. Pull-ups. One of my favourite exercises, one of the best exercises I think to develop your back. Like, you're never going to see someone who's doing pull-ups with loads of weight in between their legs and has a small back. So I think that's definitely an area that you want to improve. Again, like I probably should have touched up on this, but with all my sets at the moment, you'll probably notice that everything's quite low in terms of rep ranges. So instead of doing like 10, 15 reps, some people will do that obviously. I'm doing more like, say 4 to 6 reps and then maybe a little bit of hypertrophy. So like you notice that when I was doing all the leg presses, the squats, the rep ranges were like 4 to 6 because with the running and the boxing, what you don't want to do, this is important for people who do sports, you want to make sure that if you're trying to be good at the sport, that's your priority, that's when you want to be freshest. So you don't want to give your body so much fatigue that then your sport-specific work is neglected or isn't as high quality, because obviously that should be your focus. But for myself, although it's a focus, like everything is sort of important to me. Physique development and getting stronger is high up the list, but I don't want to be feeling really heavy and sluggish in my boxing or within my runs, so it's finding that balance. However, the areas that I want to develop most, i.e. my legs, what I'm doing is making sure that I do have maybe a set or two where the reps are a bit higher, more in like hypertrophy rep ranges, so that I'm focusing on like developing that. So yeah, bit of knowledge for you. I'm only doing one more set here, then I'm jumping on the bench. Okay. 5 reps here. That was all right. 6, a change grip mid-set then. Happy with that. Again, only keeping 2 sets for now. Gives me loads of areas to be able to progress then. And then I'll go to probably 3 in 2 weeks maybe. Sometimes I use that as a tool, like if you're struggling to progress the rate, then you can always make a few changes and mess around with the volume. So yeah, bench press next, let's go. Okay, so now we're doing the bench press. This is like, this is probably a stronger area for me, like pressing horizontally, but still areas to be improved. Like I do want to get this up to past 100. I'm like I said, back from holiday, so finding out where I'm at. But I'm aiming to do, I'd say 4 to 6 reps again. This is 80, so we'll see how we get on. I've been feeling like a very slight niggle in my right pec, so I'm definitely just going to take it like as I feel, of course. Don't want to push anything. But yeah, I'm going to give this a go. I'm going to ask Anne for a spot, and we'll see what we can do. Okay, 3, 2, 1, go. I got it. Leave. That'll do. 4, not that good. Do one more set, but I might drop the weight a tad. I do feel a little bit, I don't know, second session of the day as well. I don't want to, I don't know, it's all right, it's all right. On my second set, I want to try and get like, I'd say 5 to 8. So if that means I have to drop the weight ever so slightly, then that's what we're going to do. You should always be training within rep ranges. Like, the best thing I like to do, let's say clients, the most popular rep ranges being like 8 to 12, 12 to 15. Now, what that means is, let's say 8 to 12 as an example, you need to pick a weight that you can do at least 8 with and no more than 12. And you want to be failing with obviously technical failures, so still maintaining good form, keeping your form standardized within that bottom part of the rep range, 8, and the top part, 12. So picking a weight you fail around there. If you do, say, 60 kilo for 12, next week you know that you need to increase the weight because you've hit the top of the rep range. So if you increase the weight, the amount of reps that you can be able to do that for should go down. And then if you get maybe, I don't know, 8 reps, so the bottom of the rep range, you'll stay on that weight. And what you'll then do is you'll focus each week on doing more reps on the same weight until you can get to the top, which would be 12. And then you repeat that process. So you increase the weight, you do the top reps on that rep range, bring the weight back down in order to do less reps, which equates to the bottom of the rep range. That's exactly how we progress within 2 to 3 rep ranges across your training. 6 to 30 is like the best sort of rep range if you want to build a bit of muscle, tone up your physique. I'm doing, like I said, more strength-based at the moment, so it's a bit lower in terms of the rep ranges. However, that would be my biggest bit of value for you in terms of applying reps and sets into your training. Rep ranges are a focus. Make sure that you're progressing within your rep range and you'll get a hell of a lot of value rather than just doing 12 reps or 15 reps and calling it a day. 75 kilos, so a second set, a little bit lower on the reps now. I mean higher on the reps, sorry. Okay, ready on? I need to be careful with my right pec, feeling a bit niggly. Okay, 3, 2, 1, go. Let's try this. I'm happy with that. That felt good. So, I've got a single arm pull down, which I'm going to do over there. Yeah, single arm pull down. Yeah, I'm going to go over there, use the cables for the pull down. Then I've got a bit of core, I'm going to do a bit of arms, and then I'm done training. Don't want to overdo it. One of the most important things that you need to be doing within your sessions, and one of the biggest mistakes you might be making right now, is not tracking your lifts. So when I'm in the gym now, you can see maybe on my, let me just get this to zoom in. You can see that on my phone, right? You can see that if I click onto here, well, there's no date. Oh, there we go, it's loaded up. So you can see here the amount of weight I'm lifting, the amount of reps I'm doing. Like I said earlier in this YouTube video, I've got rep ranges here. I'm making sure to progress within them rep ranges, and that's going to allow me, when I'm tracking it over time, to put enough of a stimulus on my muscle to cause it to need to change, need to grow. And that's exactly how you make progress. If you're not tracking your lifts, if you're not going into a session knowing what numbers you need to be hitting in order to progress, I promise you now, you're not going to get the results that you would see if you were to apply this logic into your training. So if you're not already doing this, give it a go and thank me later. Yeah, so single on that pull down, a bit of a different variation of what I'm doing though. Obviously with the boxing, a lot of very like a rotational sport. A lot of demand on my body to be good through rotation. And I feel like when I'm just having that twist with my other arm, it's sort of almost like a little bit closer to being a bit more sport specific, getting a bit more rotation through the spine, getting everything moving. And just getting me stronger at, like in boxing, like I said, a very specific, very technical sport. Sometimes you're throwing a shot and you're pulling with the opposite arm or opposite side of your body in order to generate more force. And that's sort of what I'm doing here, and just getting used to that movement pattern and getting stronger at it. Something a little bit different, but rep range was 5 to 8 there. So hit top of the rep range 8 on 60 kilo. So I'll match that on my other arm now, which should be stronger. And then the goal obviously next week will be to progress that. Yeah, that's a lot easier. See how that right side moved a lot better and I was a lot further away from failure. But if that's my stronger side, this is my weaker side. If I always keep going on this one, even though it's got loads of reps in the tank, then I'm always gonna have that side being more dominant. And I don't want that. I'm trying to even out of it. So stop, don't keep pushing it. Always start with your weaker side and match the reps. I'm trying to move that fast as well. I think for me, I want to get like really fast twitch muscle fibers. It'd be really, like for me, with the strength training, I don't want to be going really slow all the time. Like, I want to be able to move weight fast, bring that explosiveness into the sport that I do, and become a better overall athlete. There's a time and a place for like really controlled reps, and depending on what you're doing. But for myself, I want to be moving weight fast, and that's exactly what I'm focusing on. I am controlling the way up, but then I'm really just thinking about driving my elbow into my hip. I can feel my lat working straight away. I can feel that rotation, and this is what's going to allow me to be a better athlete, a stronger athlete, more explosive athlete. Yeah, quite decent as well, like quite a few reps in reserve there, which is good. So, moving on to some isolation work. So we've done most of like the compound lifts, and obviously the lat bias movement then was a bit of an isolation, but now we're doing a little bit of work on the biceps and triceps. So for me, I've had a few niggles in my elbow when boxing, and I think that's because I've got a weakness in my tricep. So I am going to allocate probably 3 sets per week. I know it's quite low. I will build this up, like I've said, being just back from holiday, but I'm going to do 1 set on the tricep push down, 1 set of a bicep curl, maybe 2 sets on the tricep push down, see how I feel. Try and get the muscles around the joint that I'm getting injured in a little bit stronger to help support that joint and reduce the chance of injury. So that's what we're doing here. And with these, the reps are higher. This is isolation work, and also the goal here is to build a little bit of muscle. Like, this isn't just purely strength. This is mainly focused on building a little bit of muscle, getting it stronger. So in order to do that, we'll change the rep range. 12 to 15 is what we're looking for. Yeah, I overshot a bit there. I think I only managed 9. And also, I'm not sure if I like the straight bar attachment, getting a bit of pain in my elbow, so maybe go for something like a rope. It's a bit easier. I'm going to try a rope on the second set. Again, first week of my new training block, so a bit of trial and error. Might need to change a couple of things, but there's no issue with that. Yeah, we're going to try the rope for the second set, but I'm going to go straight into the curls in a second. Use the dumbbells. Two more. Quite happy with that. That's 1 up from last time I did it. You know what? I'm going to stick with a straight bar. I'm just going to lower the weight a bit. Maybe because I overshot, I was feeling it a bit in my elbows. It might have been a bit heavy for what I was looking for. Because I have got a really good pump in my triceps, like I can really feel them. 40 kilo, last set, and then a bit of core, and then we're all done. Let's go. I want to get double figure reps here. Take that. No more than that. That'll do 12 reps. Okay, let's move on. That was tough. Nice burn in the core though. Did I think 11 with relatively straight legs, and the last few I did knees bent just to get a little bit more out of the core. I think sometimes don't be afraid to use these little like intensifiers or slightly different variations to get a bit more out of the set. So another good thing is like partials. So let's say you're doing a lateral raise, you're coming up here, and then you fail, you can't no longer get here, but what's stopping you from getting here? To do a few more partials, get a bit more out of the muscle, fatigue it a bit more. There's a time and a place for them. I don't think it's always the best thing to do. Sometimes just keep it simple, have your movement, have your rep ranges, progress within them. Don't overcomplicate it. However, if you want to get a little bit more out of your exercise, break a few plateaus, adding certain intensifiers can definitely help. Like I just did there, a little bit of when I failed on the straighter leg variation, the hanging leg raise, I just swapped to tuck knees, get a little bit more out of the core, fatigue it a bit further. And as you saw, I got like 3, 4, maybe 5 reps more. So there was still some left in the core, but I did feel like my hip flexors tiring a little bit and I was struggling to keep the leg straight. Great way to just make the set a little bit harder, get a bit more out of the muscle, now develop further. Last set of the day. Oh God, my core. Feel tired now. That was good. That'll do. One of the biggest mistakes I see people make with core training is only ever training it in one way. So you might see a lot of people doing crunches, sit-ups, leg raises, etc. But you're actually missing out on some of the key fundamentals that you need to be doing in your core training. So I like to split this up into 4 sections. We've got anti-lateral flexion, we've got anti-rotation, hip flexor with neutral spine, and then we've got anti-extension. So the best exercise for anti-extension for me has been the barbell rollout or the ab wheel rollout. In terms of anti-lateral flexion, when I'm trying to tick that off, what I'm either doing is some form of suitcase carry, or what I'm doing is some form of like side plank. I've got a lot of value from that and find it really easy to either provide regression exercises for clients or progress this quite comfortably too. In terms of anti-rotation, I've either been doing landmine rotations or I've been doing kettlebell drags. Found that really helpful as well. And again, loads of areas to be able to progress there and loads of room for improvement. And the final one being hip flexion with a neutral spine. The best one that I found for this is hanging leg raises. But what you've got to try and do is make sure that you avoid swinging, make sure that you're keeping the form tidy, and you'll get a lot of value from that too. And if you can't quite do it with straight legs, go for bent legs. Again, another area where you can regress and progress quite easily too. So instead of just doing crunches or sit-ups, try and apply this logic into your training, train the core through different movement patterns, and you'll get a lot more value from this and progress a lot faster. So, at the moment, like I said, a little bit of size lost. Not 100% happy with my physique. Like, performance has been a big focus with the boxing. But, like, the main areas I definitely want to improve is going to be my upper chest. This is like an area that I want to bring on a lot. Always want to develop the core. My back's an area that I'm really trying to focus on at the moment. I think with the sports performance as well and what I'm trying to do, having a strong core, back, and then of course like getting stronger legs is going to be like my main areas for improvement. Not the absolute leanest in the world for what I like at the moment, but I'm willing to lose a little bit of visibility, a bit of definition around the abs, maybe getting a little bit around here, if it means that I'm going to put on a little bit of size, put obviously muscle on in the right areas. And as a byproduct to improve myself as an athlete and in the sports that I do. So yeah, this is where I'm looking at the moment. I'm relatively happy, always areas for improvement, but yeah, physique development hasn't always been the goal, not really, it's always been performance. But now I don't want to be embarrassed, or not embarrassed, but I almost feel bad sometimes for wanting to focus on aesthetics whilst trying to improve performance. And I need to remember that you can do both, so that's going to be the goal from now on. We're going to develop the physique as well as improving the performance of, obviously, me as an athlete. So if you like this journey and maybe you're someone who wants to learn more about the actual coaching and the programs that I do, make sure you subscribe and make sure you check out my Instagram, Jacob Smith Coach. Also, if you're someone who just wants to keep an eye on my journey and you find this type of content enjoyable, this YouTube channel is going to be all about improving myself in terms of my boxing, me as a runner, lifting weights, and just making sure that I become the best athlete that I can. So if that's something that interests you, and also maybe the business side of things too, I'm obviously running my own business, I'm thinking of sharing some things there too. Make sure to subscribe to my channel, and I'll catch you guys in the next video.